Today we make a return visit to Starr's Mill in Fayette County, Georgia. We have a rare opportunity to see the inside of the mill and an even rarer opportunity to see the second floor of the mill. You may have noticed Starr's Mill in the movies. It was used in fried green tomatoes, and Sweet Home Alabama, among others.
Scales here, they catch the corn and then weigh it and bag it. The miller wasn't paid a fee. The miller got part of the corn, and then he'd bag it and then he'd sell it. Like the Jones family had the mill for 40 years, and they bagged the corn as Jones Milling Company and sold their share of it that way.
The mill itself was powered by an undershot water wheel underneath the mill. The turbine was manufactured by Nordyke and Marmon Company of Indianapolis, Indiana. The company made all kinds of machinery for flour, rice, and corn mills, and all products related to grain handling. The Starr's Mill turbine was state-of-the-art in 1907 when it was installed here. Wow, that's amazing that it's still here intact and everything.
Yeah. And we just got it so we can go upstairs. You can see patches in the floor here and other places on the second floor where the belts ran from the second floor to the first floor to get power from the turbine.
Nice.
Now, since I mentioned turbine, I need to mention that Starr's Mill didn't have an overshot wheel. There wasn't an outside wheel. The equipment that W.T. Glover bought was a turbine that generated power with the water going underneath the mill, turning the turbine. Now, they give you more power and a steadier flow of power that way through the concrete enclosure downstairs.
Hi.
Ray Boomer bought the mill in 1959. He was a salesman and he was coming back from Columbus to Atlanta, got tired, pulled off on the side of the road and took a nap. He got up the next morning, he'd heard the sound all night long and he wondered what it was, so he checked. He saw it was the water coming over the dam. Well, he liked it. He went to the store and he talked to him. He found out the mill was for sale and he bought the mill and part of the mill pond. And he and his wife used it for their retreat from Atlanta for years. But he also opened it up in the 70s as a craft and market venue. But the 70s was also the bicentennial. So he didn't want to pass up on that opportunity, even though it wasn't quite, Fayette County was founded in 1821. Let's fudge a little bit. He put up these signs on the road that says the mill was established in 1771.
Oh my.
Well, that's what he needed for the 200 years, and that helped,
He just fudged a little bit.
Well, 50 years here away, it's nothing. Now, when they ground wheat, it took all 3 floors of the mill for the equipment for the wheat because it was a roller type. It wasn't stone. So it had belts that run up through the roof and went all the way up to the 3rd floor, all the way down below the 1st floor to generate the power that came from the turbine. The corn started up here, it came in the Dutch doors that are behind you. They brought it up here. They had a way to mechanically shell the corn, and then they took the corn and fed it down to the grinding stones downstairs. Now, there was only one guy working here. The miller was just, so all the work was him. So it was a hard job. So, but he also worked according to what the water was available, because in dry weather there wasn't enough water to run the mill. So even though we're hearing the water in the background today, there's times when there is no water, and there also is times when there's too much water. The water flooded the mill several times. 1994, it got highest halfway in the windows downstairs.
Oh my.
So that'll give you an idea of how much water can be down here.
We've seen it pretty high, but that is amazing.
Yeah, okay. One of the unsolved murders in the county is George Lynch was killed down here. He was the caretaker, and he came down here checking on the place, and he didn't come back, and they come checked on him and found out he'd been hitting the head on the steps, and they've never been able to find out who did it, and they don't know why. He was just an old gentleman that kept the mill up. So
Very sad.
In 1966, mill caretaker George Lynch was murdered at the mill. His killer was never caught. The Lynch family is still a prominent family here in Fayette County. John Lynch, George's grandson, told me that his grandfather's death wasn't the first tragedy the family experienced. In 1957, his grandmother, Fannie Lou Lynch, was hit by a car on the bridge over Whitewater Creek just beside the mill. She was thrown over the bridge into the creek below. John Lynch says the mill is a bittersweet place for him, but he loves it just the same. The mill is open to the public from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the second Wednesday of each month, courtesy of the Fayette County Historical Society. I hope you visit.